Hi guys, how's it going? I'm teacher Luke and today we're going to look at 30 words which are really commonly mispronounced by English learners. This video is going to help you to stop making these simple mistakes and help you to improve your pronunciation. So make sure you watch the whole video, number 1 to number 30. Let's get right to it. The first one on this list is pretty ironic because it's the topic of today's video, and it is pronunciation. Pronunciation. I hear many students, and actually some native speakers too, saying this word like pronunciation. But that's wrong. The second syllable in this word is none, not noun. So it goes like this: pronunciation. Altogether, pronunciation. Now, I totally see why some students make a mistake with this because the verb form of this word is to pronounce. But in the noun form, it is pronunciation. For example, when learning a second language, it's really important to work on your pronunciation. Word number 2 is one of the most common mistakes on this list, and you pronounce this word like gorgeous. Gorgeous. This word only has 2 syllables. Gorgeous. Gorgeous. I hear many students pronounce this with 3 syllables, like gorgeous. But that's not correct. This word only has 2 syllables. One more time, gorgeous. For example, you look gorgeous today. Or, the weather was gorgeous last weekend. Number 3 is a really hard one to pronounce. We pronounce this thoroughly. Thoroughly. Slower, thoroughly. Thoroughly. We thoroughly enjoyed ourselves. You should study this lesson thoroughly. Okay, before we move on to number 4, if you like this video so far, please give it a thumbs up and write yes in the comments to let me know that you enjoyed this video. Number 4 is bomb. Bomb. In written English, this is spelled with the letter B, but when we speak it, we omit the B and just pronounce it as bomb. Bomb. There is no B sound. For example, hundreds of bombs were dropped on the city during the war. Number 5 is very similar to number 4. This word also has a silent B, but the B is actually in the middle of the word. So we pronounce this word like debt. Debt. Again, there is no B sound when we say this word. For example, I need to pay off all my debts. Number 5 is another example of a silent letter, but in this case, the silent letter is H. This word is pronounced honest. Honest. Don't pronounce the H when you say this word. So it's not honest. It's just honest. He looks like an honest man. You should try to be an honest person. And number 7 is just like number 8. Again, this is a silent H, and this word is pronounced hour. Hour. I spent an hour on the phone yesterday. This video has taken me hours to make. Before we move on to number 8, are any of these pronunciations surprising to you? Let me know below in the comments. Okay, number 8 is genuine. Genuine. I hear some students pronounce this like genuine, but the last syllable in this word is pronounced in, not ein. So it goes like this: genuine. Altogether, genuine. Genuine. For example, he comes across as a very genuine person. Word 9 is cupboard. Cupboard. Now, of course, I can understand why some students would pronounce this one wrong, because if you read it as cupboard. But when we're speaking, we pronounce it as cupboard. His kitchen has so many cupboards. Number 10 is a particularly difficult one to say. We pronounce this as accessory. Accessory. This word has 4 syllables. Accessory, and the stress is on the second syllable. Altogether, accessory. Accessory. I have so many accessories for my bike. Word number 11 might be used a lot in the IELTS exam if you're talking about yourself or giving a personal introduction and you are this thing. We pronounce it as athlete. Athlete. This word has 2 syllables only. Athlete. Some students use it with 3 syllables. athlete, but that's not correct. It only has 2 syllables, athlete. When I was young, I wanted to become a professional athlete. Number 12 is debut. Debut. There is no t sound in this word, even though the spelling uses the t, do not pronounce the t. So do not say debut, say debut. Debut. She'll make her debut on the national football team this week. Number 13 is much more common in written English, but we do sometimes use it when we're speaking, and it is pronounced as etc. Etc. Some people use this as etc., but that's not correct. It's pronounced as etc. Again, this is another example of a word that won't really impede comprehension, but it's good to know how to pronounce it correctly. I enjoy playing basketball, football, baseball, etc. Number 14 is a really common adjective. It's pronounced definitely. Definitely. A bit slower. Definitely. Quicker. Definitely. I definitely remember sending the email. 15 is a common one when you're talking about movies, and it's pronounced as genre. Genre. That first sound, zh, is quite difficult for many students, so they change it to like genre or genre. That's not exactly correct. You have to practice the first sound, zh. Zh. Genre. Genre. What genre of movies do you like watching? Number 16 has 2 pronunciations. It can be pronounced as niche or niche. Niche or niche. You can choose whichever one you prefer. But it's not pronounced niche. That's incorrect. You can use niche or niche. And this one is often used in business English. So here's an example. They spotted a niche in the market without much competition. Number 17 is stomach. Stomach. Now some students pronounce this like stomach, but that's wrong. However, I can see why students can make this mistake because the CH is usually pronounced as ch. But in this case, the CH is pronounced like ka. Altogether, stomach. Stomach. It's not a good idea to exercise on a full stomach. Number 18 is a really tricky word to pronounce. We pronounce this as supposedly. Supposedly. Altogether, supposedly. And there are 2 important things you should know. The stress goes on the second syllable, supposedly, and at the end, we do not pronounce it like bli. Instead, it is dli. Supposedly. Supposedly. The movie is supposedly based on a true story. 19. Tuition. Tuition. Some students pronounce this as tuition, but that's incorrect. Instead, say it like tuition. Tuition. Actually, there are 2 ways to pronounce this word. In British English, we say tuition, but in American English, Americans would say tuition. Tuition. Both are acceptable. You choose which one you like best. For example, he won't be able to finish his degree unless someone pays for his tuition. Number 20 is a word that students ask me to teach them a lot, and it is mischievous. 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 I have heard this word pronounced as mischievous, which I think is also okay, but the dictionaries say that this word is pronounced mischievous, and also I say it that way too. For example, he was a mischievous boy, or don't be mischievous. 21 is chaos. Chaos. Again here, a lot of students, they pronounce the CH as ch, so chaos. I totally understand why students make this mistake, but that's not how it's pronounced. It's pronounced with a k sound. Chaos. The house was in chaos after the party. 22. Debris. Debris. Or if you're from America, you pronounce it like debris. The important thing to note here is that the S is silent. So don't say debris, say debris, or say debris. Emergency teams are still clearing up the debris from the plane crash. 23 is candidate. Candidate. Some students use a long E sound on the second syllable and pronounce it like candidate. But that's incorrect. It's better to say candidate. Altogether, candidate. He's the best candidate for the job. Which political candidate are you going to vote for? 24 is albeit. Albeit. The stress goes on the second syllable. Be. Albeit. Albeit. Some students say this like albeit, but that's wrong. The second syllable is pronounced be. Albeit. He finally agreed, albeit reluctantly. 25 is video. Video. A common mistake is to pronounce this like video with a long E sound on the first syllable. But that's not correct. It's much better to use the short E sound on the first syllable like this. Video. Video. We should video her birthday party. Number 26 has two acceptable pronunciations. It can be pronounced as schedule or schedule. In British English, schedule and schedule are both commonly used. In American English, schedule is the most commonly used one, but you can choose which one you want to use. One more time, schedule or schedule. For example, I can't meet you tomorrow, my schedule is full. Number 27 is a really common one because people often talk about going shopping, and this is receipt. There is no p sound when we say this word, so it's not receipt. It's just receipt. Receipt. For example, can I have the receipt, please? Number 28 is a word you'll definitely use if you're buying a house, and it is mortgage. Mortgage. This word has a silent letter, and it is the T in the spelling. We do not pronounce the T when we say this word out loud. So it's not mortgage, it's simply mortgage. Mortgage. The last syllable is pronounced gidge. Mortgage. Mortgage. For example, before you buy a house, make sure you get a mortgage. 29 is a bit of a sad one, and it is beri. Beri. The spelling in here looks like it should be pronounced bury, but it's not. We pronounce this word beri. Beri. I had to bury my dog last weekend. And last but not least, this is another really common mistake, and it is photographer. Photographer. A lot of students, they say this like photographer, which is an easy mistake to make because when you take a picture, it is a photograph. But when you are the person that takes the picture, you are a photographer. The stress is on to. Photographer. For example, I would love to be a professional photographer. Okay, you made it all the way to the end of this video. Well done. I hope this video was helpful. These were the 30 most commonly mispronounced words that I hear my students make really frequently. Now I hope you don't make the same mistakes. In the comments below, let me know if you like this video, and if you want more pronunciation videos like this, write in the comments more please. Okay, that's it from me. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Take care.